The following is a presentation of the Mat Talk Podcast Network.
These guys aren't playing around. It's time to put the books away and get in the room. It's time for Wrestling Recess. Now your hosts, Dysen Gould and Dom Deputy. PA Power Wrestling. Pennsylvania is wrestling.
Welcome back to another episode of PA Power Wrestling's Wrestling Recess. I'm your host, Dysen Gould, and today I'm joined by North Hills two-time state champ, Sammy Hillegas. How's it going today, Sammy?
Pretty good.
So how have you been finding ways to stay working out during this coronavirus time?
I was just taking some more time to relax and just take some more time off from states, but definitely been finding ways to work out some. I've been doing a bunch of yard work around the house, just clean things up, but also trying to get on runs when I can, and then setting up my TRX band outside soon, and then just gonna start finding different ways to incorporate some workouts.
What else have you been doing? Netflix, video games? What have you been up to?
Oh yeah, that's some big Netflix. Definitely binge watching 24/7. That's me and my brother's game right now, but we just got started with some online schoolwork this week, so we're getting some Zoom classes in and just trying to get some homework done as well.
Yeah, I think I'm starting some online stuff next week.
Yeah, it's unusual, but you kind of have to find ways to adapt. Probably later on I'll probably be taking some online classes for college, so just getting used to it now.
Yeah. So moving on to talking about your wrestling career, how did you get started into the sport of wrestling?
So whenever I was a real young kid, my parents always said I was super energetic and always bouncing off the walls. So they put me in a bunch of sports when I was younger, summer camps, and my dad used to wrestle when he was in high school, and he played all sports growing up. So they put me into wrestling whenever I turned 6 on my birthday. We went, signed up, got everything ready, and I remember the first wrestling practice I went to. I thought it was going to be WWE, bouncing off the ropes, high dives and all that. But went in, and I remember first day we just did heel toe knees, just penetration steps down and back of the room. And I was like, it's kind of boring. But then we started getting and learning some more things. It got fun. And, the success along with that as a young kid, for me, helped a lot, motivated me, and just kept it going.
Yeah, Brock Zachary also said him and his brother thought it was WWE, and they went to practice, and they were disappointed they didn't wrestle for a couple of years, and then they finally got back into it. Yeah,
that's the thing. I was never a big fan of WWE. That's just what I thought wrestling was whenever I was younger.
So, did you like the sport right away?
Of course, my first year, whenever I was that young, just the losses definitely killed me. But I think my second year, I took 8th at states as a second-year kid, but I was 7 wrestling 10 and under. And I think that's really, really when it clicked for me, because then I was starting to learn more technique. And then come my third year, they added 8 and under into PJWs. And I made it to the state finals, and I lost the Gage McClenahan in my first state finals. And that's when it clicked for me. And I really started really falling in love with the sport and having a lot of fun, because we were traveling a lot more. And back then, whenever they still do the top 100 for PA, if you were winning that and just traveling around all the tournaments around the state to win those points, it was really fun for all of us, especially with our youth program at the time. I was at Shaler. All of us, we had a lot of good guys coming through the program, so it was fun that we were all together. We were all friends, all traveling, doing something we loved.
Talk about Quest. When did you start there, and kind of how did they help you?
So I probably started hitting Quest when I was about 8 or 9, maybe 10-ish. And so I started at Quest, and then I was also at Pitbull at the time too. So I was kind of interchanging, just going back and forth, because Quest is about 30-minute drive, and then a little closer was Pitbull at the time. It was in right down in the city, Pittsburgh Central Catholic, because that was whenever Chenzo and everyone went there. Got with Sonny Abe and then went to Quest. So right now I go to Quest, but there was some stuff that happened whenever I was young. Clubs split up, so back to Quest now. I wasn't there for a little bit, but back now, and it's awesome.
So in your high school career, freshman, sophomore year, you were state champion each year. What do you think helped you become so successful early on in your high school career?
I mean, definitely the coming through and wrestling and winning like all those PJW stuff was helpful. But I mean, just like continuing all that club work. I mean, I always worked out with all those it helped a lot. Like just going to clubs and like always staying in it. And like PJW is great because you're wrestling the same kids all throughout high school and everything. And your success, like I know a bunch of guys that like haven't won like PJW state titles or even placed for that matter that have like gone on to win like high school state titles. But I mean, that really played a big tribute.
Yeah, because PJW definitely prepares you for high school because PJW's PJW's national preps, AAA and AA, and then you get to high school and they all go separate ways. So you're not seeing everyone that you saw in PJW. So PJW definitely prepares you for high school.
Yeah, it does.
Talk about your rivalry this year with Wyatt Henson. You went 1-2 with record with him this year. Talk about kind of what it was like to wrestle him and you guys just going at it a couple times, being so close. And what was it like wrestling him?
I mean, the first time it was definitely just like being able, because he's real fast paced, heavy hands, always firing off shots and stuff. So I mean, the first time just like being able, because like using my counter offense to like get to my attacks and like re-attacks and just kind of controlling the ties and that stuff was like real big that first time. But then it really shows that like he really like changed his game plan and his style of wrestling against me. And I mean, it worked for him, but like he won those last two matches, and it really showed that he put the time in. I mean, after losing the Whitfield finals, I definitely went back and tried to change things up, and it was kind of frustrating that like I wasn't able to get my offense and that stuff. I mean, I still looking back on it. I mean, didn't let it fly as much as I wanted to, but you just kind of gotta live with it and get past it.
Do you guys ever talk other than when you wrestle? Like, do you guys like Snapchat or anything talk?
Not really. I mean, whenever we were younger, we worked out like once or twice just because his dad being down at West Virginia at the time and like him coming up to Quest. I mean, we've got some workouts in when we were younger, but not as much now. I mean, some of those Waynesburg kids come up, but I mean, I haven't really worked out with him or like, I'd say we're friendly together. There's no really bad blood in between us off the mat, but yeah, he's a good kid.
Talk about your quote this year at States. That I don't even remember what it was. What was it? It was something about the dropping the shield.
Yeah. So like sharpen the spear. So we that was kind of our motto going into postseason down at Quest. I mean, we sat down after one of the practices. I want to say on a Tuesday night, and we're talking with Coach Akerley, and he's just saying that it's a war, and like for some of us, this is our last go. I mean, you got to be ready to get after it, and you just got to sharpen your spear, make it as pretty as you can, decorate it, add some feathers, some string. Just make it just go and leave it all out there. I mean, there's nothing to lose. You can't sit back and protect yourself anymore. You just kind of got to drop your shield. I mean, that's where that came from. Talk
about what it's like to wrestle in the Giant Center. Like obviously, a PA State tournament, big venue. What's it like wrestling there?
For me, like the first year, and especially I went up my 8th grade year just to watch one of our former wrestlers, Gage Curry, and watch him compete. I mean, being on the mats, like warming up, like whenever I was in 8th grade, it was like, I was like, holy crap, this place is huge. And especially the crowd getting behind it because PA is the wrestling like state. So, I mean, like everyone there loves the sport of wrestling and everyone gets behind it real well. So whenever I first got there in like 8th grade, I was like, wow, this is crazy. So being there in 8th grade really helped me going into my freshman year, just knowing that like this is what I got to be ready for and like just expect it. I mean, it's still a wrestling tournament. There's just it's a different venue. The crowd, like there's a bigger crowd, but it's just a wrestling tournament. You can't really look past anything. I mean, that's what some people say at NCAAs. There's just it's a different kind of feeling whenever you get in there. That's the only thing I'd say. It's just the more pressure's on, everyone's ready to compete, everyone's leaving out there on the line. So it's definitely different. It's different than most tournaments.
Yeah, I was there this year and had the media pass with PA Power Wrestling, so it was cool to go like behind the scenes and like through the tunnel and be mat side and stuff, kind of get a sneak peek of before I get to high school next year.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, like last year when they had NCAAs in Pittsburgh, me and Sam Latona were going to get a workout in, and we got to go down, and it was just me and him down in the practice match, which was pretty cool because no one in the arena was there, and it was wild. It was just us two. Like, we got in, we were working out, and we got to like explore and just like be out, and they were setting up mats for semis. So they cleared everyone out, and we were just working out. So we got to walk out and like step on the mats like before anyone came back in for semis. And we're like, just wow, like this is crazy. Like how big this arena is, and like that it's going to be sold out, and like everyone's going to be eyes on you watching it. So I mean, it was kind of cool to get and see that, and like talk to some of the media guys while we were on the floor. So that was pretty cool. And I mean, that's what it's. I'm sure that's what it was like for you this year. Yeah,
it was pretty cool, especially like during the Parade Champion stuff, just standing there and the lights off and just knowing like that's my goal for the next couple of years, being in that Parade of Champions and stuff like that. It was just pretty cool to sit down there, mat side for like the finals and stuff, and just watch some high level wrestling.
Yeah.
So why did you choose Virginia Tech? What stuck out to you about them?
I mean, man, I love it down there. I love everyone on the team, all the coaches and everything. I mean, the campus is amazing too. I mean, there's not like there's a thing about like every building. It's all made from the same like brick. It's called a Hokie stone. So they mine it from like one of the quarries down in Virginia, and every building, like big building, is made out of the same stone, which is pretty cool. And there's a drill field for the Corps cadets that come through, and it's massive land, just open area in between the campus. And there's a view like that you get to see, especially in fall and spring. It's a really, really pretty view that you get to see. So the campus is awesome. And then just the facilities is great. 2 huge, large wrestling mats with downstairs. You got an Olympic weightlifting room with great coaches down there too. I mean, it's awesome, dude. I mean, and another thing I said about it, like I tell everyone, is that like I might live like right outside the city, and like that's like an open like country land, but just working on a Quest, like Quest is out on a farm and everything, so it's away, and like we got the good mix of like kids that come from the city down to Quest, and like kids that live out there on like literally on the same farm that Quest is on. Just coming together. I mean, that's how I think Virginia Tech is. You got that good mix of like PA kids, like Jersey kids, and Ohio kids that are coming in and being in the same program as those kids from Virginia, like Alabama and everywhere else. So, I mean, it's a great mix, and it really works because I'm used to like being out in farmland and just going down. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like that mixture of the city because I love going down to Pittsburgh, like walking around the city and stuff like that anytime we drive through it. But like if I got to my friend's house, I live in town here in Punxsutawney, but like if I go out to my friend's house like on a farm or like out in the country, I just love it out there, just sitting out just sitting outside and like looking out in the like through the hills and stuff of the farms. But I also love the city, so I think a mixture would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to come by, but I mean, like I'm always gonna be like, I wouldn't say like I'm a city kid, but definitely not one of those kids who just go out there and like roll around the mud. I mean, like I do like to go out, like I do like to ride quads and everything like that, go fishing. I mean, I'm not real big into hunting, but like, I mean, it's fun to be out there with those guys on the phone.
Yeah, it's kind of like me. I live in town here, but anytime I get to go out and like at a campground or something like that, I love it. What are some other schools you were interested in, like took visits to or that?
So I mean, I never took an official visit to Lehigh, but Lehigh, I love those guys up there. Coach Santoro, Coach Hughes, Coach Dillon. I mean, those guys are great. I mean, especially with having Mason Beckman at Quest, it was definitely a big interest at my time. I mean, I've been going to camp since I've been in like 6th grade. So, I mean, I got to develop like real good relationships with those guys. And it's an awesome place up there. I have nothing bad to say about those guys. It's awesome up there. But went to Lehigh, checked out Arizona State. Great staff down there. Like really talented guys with Zeke Jones, Pendleton, who's out and actually now at Oregon State. Jameel Kelly and Lee Pritz. I mean, real good group of guys. I mean, got to spend some time with like Zahid and like get to roll around with some guys like from California, like Sonny Santiago when I was down there over like summer camp, like Brandon Courtney, like all those guys. And then you have the Pittsburgh guys down there. So like Shields and Maruka. So like I knew them from Quest at the time before they started going over to Young Guns. So knowing them when I was younger like really helped. And then West Virginia. I mean, whenever I was younger, going back to another camp, I went to the Edinburgh camp with Flynn and Port and Moore. They were all at Edinburgh still. So when they went over to West Virginia and then being Akerley, having him being the West Virginia alum, that was huge. So, I mean, like, I love those guys too. Finding the right fit's huge. So, I mean, like, to any other recruit out there, it's definitely take your visits, take your time, really meet the team, see who you're going to be spending your time around. But, I mean, all my visits are big. I mean, I talked to a bunch of other schools. Like, I talked to Penn State. I talked to Ohio State a little bit. I mean, talked to Oklahoma State a little bit. It's just kind of finding your fit and, like, where you want to go and what you're looking for, not just only in a wrestling program, because there's a bunch of wrestling programs out there where you can succeed. I mean, remember Bryce Meredith saying, like, you don't have to go to a big school to win titles. Like, he made the national finals, like, how many? Like, two times. And, like, look, he's coming from Wyoming. They're not the biggest program out there, but really goes to show that, like, I mean, wrestling isn't everything. I mean, I do want to try and continue my career after my collegiate career is over, but definitely looking to find your right career path as well. So, I mean, like, for Virginia Tech, like, having, like, the certain engineering program I want to go into was, like, big in my part of my choice.
Talk about the big recruiting class that Virginia Tech has coming in with guys like Clayton Overy, Hunter Katka. Just talk about that group.
Man, I mean, so me and Sam Fisher from Virginia, we are the first two that really make our commitments and be out there. And I remember just like seeing all these other guys like Eddie Vincheska, and then he committed. And then I remember just like talking to the coaching staffs, and like they asked me about like if I knew any of these guys that were like interested, and like if I was like friends with them, and seeing like how interested they were. And they were talking about Katka. And at this time, like, it was right when Katka was hitting the scene, and he was like showing interest right before like he made the world team and went on to win like Super 32 and all this stuff. And got to talk to him a little bit and just like kind of just like talk to him. And like whenever me and Katka first met, Hunter was really quiet to be around for how big he was. I mean, he is still like kind of quiet around us, but he really opened up and showed. So like getting him, and then the next piece, we were all down on a visit for the Duke game, and Clayton was there. And Clayton was like the last piece we really wanted for our recruiting class. And like it was like we were all just like hanging around him, trying to get him to open up. He was quiet as well at the first. So like getting him to open up and like really show like what everyone is around us, and like showing that like how close like even the recruits were to the guys on the team, and like kind of getting him to talk to everyone else was huge. I mean, like we have like our big five. I mean, it's really sad what happened with Brandon Green from Jersey. I mean, what I've heard, like what's happened, it's just so like sad to hear, because like he may never wrestle again. I mean, that's what I've heard it's come down to. But I mean, anything can happen. Like if somehow like everything heals up and they give him the go ahead, that's going to be awesome. But I mean, still want him down here. He's a great kid too. But our five that's coming in for the wrestling program right now, we're really tough. And I mean, still looking at the class below us. There's some guys that we're looking at in PAs too. So I want to try and get around those guys too if they come down on a visit, just because them being on the team would be a big pickup as well.
You plan on redshirting in next year?
So I'm really not sure, but right now that's the plan based on some kids coming back from injuries and other things. But right now I think the plan is a redshirt.
Do you plan going 41, 49 that area, or maybe possibly 33? So
there has been some talk about going 33. I mean, I think I'm gonna test it out over the summer, see how low I can get, just see, because like right now, me being fat and happy, like walking around at high 40s is it's nice. But I mean, wrestling 138 and 141, like 140 through high school was it was easy and making it every week. I mean, there was no struggle about it, but definitely going to be able to test and try and get down my redshirt year to 33. We're going to see, but I don't know. I mean, who knows? I get to that college weight program and I might be a 57 maybe.
Anything else you'd like to say? That's all I got for you. I'll leave with the last word. Anything you want to say to me or the listeners?
I mean, hey man, good luck going into next year and everything. I mean, definitely gonna be a watch for you now. And any PA guys out there that are interested in Virginia Tech, shoot me a text. I'll be in contact with Coach Roby, Coach Freyer, Coach Brewer, all those guys down there, Coach Hott. I mean, it's an awesome place where you're going to be doing the right things, and having Mackay back next year is going to be huge for us. So definitely going to be trying to compete for a team title coming up. So that's all I got.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Sammy.
Yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
Yep.